Hello, this is a continuation, my glorious families. Just in case you missed the first video, we discussed about a topic that is very impressive. I'm very sure a lot of homes have experienced it or they might experience it. So do not forget to check it out. So this is continuation and this is part 2. So we'll be talking about another topic.
So the second question is, what age is it ideal to introduce sex education to the children? Oh, that's a very, very vital question because I think it's a question that has been generating waves among, let me say, our Nigerian community, because I'll use Nigeria because like I always tell people, I always refer to Nigerian if I'm citing an example because I'm a Nigerian,
of course,
and I've dealt with my people in and out, and coming to Western world, I'm just learning their own culture, and their norms and tribes. I mean what they do, what the community is made of. So if you're asking this question from the people that are living in the Western world, it's not even a question for them because they've made it in such a way that it's an open discussion.
Right.
But because of where we came from, especially adding religion to our own background, it makes it a bit tighter discussion at home for parents. And I want to believe 80% of the parents back home don't even discuss that. Don't even do it.
They don't do it.
They don't even the child will not even be bold enough to ask the question because our culture, our religion, even the parents' outlook or their look
will scare you.
Their body language will not even make our child even dare to say the word.
Where did you hear that from?
The question is, you did ask your dad, oh dad, when are you paying my school fees? Dad, when are we going on holiday? Dad, when are we getting a new whatever? And you're asking about sex education. I'm sure the parent is just going to be like, are you okay?
Are you sure you're good? Who are your friends in school?
Even if you ask your dad, the next thing you just is, oh, yeah, Israel, please, can you come over? Because it's your mother that is going to answer that question.
Yeah.
For you to be bold enough to ask your father. And if you ask your mom, definitely she's going to shout on you. So let's go back to the question that we asked. For me, every situation always determine what you do.
Right.
Because that's what I always tell some people. Even some situation that you say, if I am in that situation, God forbid, I will never do it. You can never tell because you're not in that situation.
Right.
In fact, some situation will happen that when it actually happens to you, the way you will react, you will not believe that is you.
Right.
And if ordinarily someone asks you, you just say, no, I can't do that. So for the question at hand, well, for me, I think from the time the child can identify who they are, you might definitely not put everything at them at once. Because if you look at the way the world is now, there's child molestation everywhere, there's rape everywhere now. So it's not only back home or in Western world that we are, it happens everywhere. So, if you don't let your child know what they need to look out for, or when they need to tell you when some things are not right with their body, then how are you going to react? So once the child starts identifying who they are, that I am a boy, I've got a private part for the boy, and I've got my leg, my hand and everything, I'm a girl, I've got a breast that is going to come out, I've got a private part, and I've got at a certain time I'll start making period and stuff like that. Once this child start identifying who they are, they can say, oh, I'm a girl, I'm a boy. Each day or each event that happens, and if it's related to sex education, I feel we should be able to open up a little bit pertaining to that minute at that child's level. Like for instance, I give you the story of what happened between myself, my daughter and I, when she was just 4 going to 5-year-old.
Yes.
Who could ever think a 4-year-old would ask that kind of question? So which means at that age of 4, she already identified she's a girl.
And she
can have babies.
have babies someday.
She never said, when can I impregnate someone to have babies? She said, how do we make babies, or when can I start having babies? So which means she knew she already a female. So at that level, for a 4 or 5 year old, and don't even forget Western world, they start teaching them in school.
Right.
I don't know the way it works in America here. Back home in UK, there's so many modules and syllables now that they've introduced to secondary school now. I remember then when my daughter was in probably year 3 or year 2, they sent a form that we should fill just to let us know that they will introduce sex education. They brought it further down. I think then it was only between year 5 and year 6, which we call primary 5 and primary 6, which is for children of the age 9 and 10. But now they're taking it to the children of age 6 and 7. So which brings me to the other question that we had when a child bursts in on the parents. For that 7-year-old, you don't know what has been taught in class. You don't know the discussion they've had. And you know, because of the generation that we have now, things is going faster than you expect.
Like jets.
What a 10-year-old knows, you'll be shocked that you as a parent, you've never even heard about it. So for me, there is no really any certain age that you should say, oh, you want to start sex education with your children. But if your child is a child that is very inquisitive, that wants to know everything, that asks questions a lot, and the question borders around sex education, please, I beg any parent, for goodness sake, answer them nicely.
And take your time to
explain. Because if you try to shut them down, or try to lie to them, or try to cover it up, trust me, someone else will teach them, and they might teach them in the wrong way.
Of course they will teach them in the wrong way.
It's just like, I remember then when we were young, when our parents would tell you, oh, don't go too close to a man. If a man touches you, you get pregnant. But my darling sister, I've seen friends that got pregnant because they eventually tell their parents, Mom, the place, I didn't allow the man to touch me, but he only used his private part to touch my private part. Exactly, because that was what the mom said. No, they shouldn't touch you. The mom never said, don't allow any man to climb you and put his private part in your private parts. That is clear enough. You have not said anything that is derogatory, or you have not said anything that is a little bit messy or something.
Right.
But if you're telling you don't touch, you're saying don't touch is different from don't put.
Don't put.
So that is why I say we need to communicate in a clear language, simple and clear way. And one thing I will advise we parents, we shouldn't allow, we don't want to be too open by saying we don't want to be calling private part.
So what else will you call
whatever it is, let the child know. Because if you don't tell that child private part, they'll tell the child private part in school.
In school, yeah.
They already told them in school what penis is penis.
Yeah.
Vagina is vagina.
Right.
Breast is breast.
Right.
So don't use another word to qualify it for that child. Because when you use another word to qualify it, when the child found herself or himself in a situation where they're going to molest or do anything nasty, and they use the right word, you have used another word to qualify that part of the organ. The child might allow that thing to happen because what you call it for the child was not what the person called it. So for the child, he or she has not done anything wrong. So, because most we parents do that, especially we the religious ones
from Africa.
And I always tell people, religion is separate. We have brought our kids and ourselves to the Western world. Their ways are not our ways. But our children are growing in their ways. There's no way you're going to teach. Yes, we will teach our children our own ways. You only teach them, telling them. It's not entering their brain because that way is not the way they are living their life.
Yeah.
You can only just teach them so that they can also have it at the back of their mind that apart from this life that you're living, we came from somewhere that has this kind of culture or has this kind of ways. But those children are growing up that day, and I don't think any parents will bring their kids to Western world and now say after the the kids have graduated from the university, get a good job, and now say, you know what, my daughter, I want you to go back to Nigeria and live.
It never has helped.
Exactly. So if the worst that will happen is that we that brought them, we will go back. Because that was where we grew up from. We've had our lives there. We only just came here probably for better life and for the future of the kids. We eventually leave those kids here to grow, continue that ways of life. So it's still the same ways of life. They're going to continue themselves.
Right.
So my own is our kids, whenever they come up to us to ask questions, I beg all parents, let's be open-minded when answering them. Let's make it clear to them. And let's always have communication because it helps the kids. It gives them better understanding. Because where they are going there to ask questions, they're going to table everything for them in a clear, clean way.
Raw.
Absolutely. But we are still going to pancake it. We're still going to cover it up. And it's not going to help the kids. My children knows me. My son will just be, oh, this is my mom. Me, I go straight to the point. And this question will also make me cite an example of what happened. I remember that day when I was in the kitchen, I was trying to cook. My first son, now 20. Then I think it was just probably around 13, 14. I think he just got to year 10. I can't even remember that year. And he just came to meet me in the kitchen. Just said, oh, Mom, what are you just? I'm cooking. And I just said, oh, Mom, can I just ask the question? I said, go ahead. You know me. I'm ready.
I'm all ears.
I am all ears, and I will absolutely give it to you open like that. And he just said, what if I come home and I impregnate someone?
Ewo.
So what would you do? And I said, really?
What a tough question.
That's fine. I said, there's nothing I'm going to do. Am I going to kill the child? I said, no. He was shocked because he was expecting me to start throwing tantrums.
How dare you try that?
Even tell me you want to go and you will impregnate someone at your age when you're supposed to be thinking about books. For goodness sake, they discuss sex.
Right.
Those kids, they know about sex.
They even know what we don't know. They know.
See, it's high time we parents understand that.
Honestly, they are more
Those
exposed.
kids, you see, they are more exposed.
They are more exposed.
Even in our own time, we are reckless. They are not reckless. They taught them the implication of being reckless. They taught them the use of condom.
Right.
They taught them the use of using contraceptive.
Yeah.
They've taught them everything.
They are
how
more
to
exposed.
protect their life.
Right.
You see these symptoms, you go to the hospital, you ask for this kind of test. While we are still struggling, probably calling, oh, Sheung, I think my body is doing something wrong. They're not going to call anybody. They go straight to the hospital because they know what to go look for. So back to my story, and when he asked me, I said, see, I am not going to kill you, and I'm not going to kill the girl. The worst has happened. Pregnancy already established. But son, one thing I promise you, you will not stop your school. Because I am not going to, and I'm not going to give you £1 to take care of that child.
What?
Because I have sacrificed all my life to train you kids, even leaving behind my own family to come to this country to make your life better. So when I felt you guys are going to there, I'm supposed to relax.
And
you're not bringing a grandchild.
You want to put me on
For
another race.
I am not barren. I give back to you. I am not going to accept that. You continue your school, you go and look for a job, and you take care of that child.
You take care of your responsibility.
Because there's a difference between being recklessly responsible and being sensibly responsible. So when you're recklessly responsible, it will teach you how to be sensibly responsible.
Why, Sherry?
I am not going to accept.
Period.
And I'm not going to accept that child. Oh, sorry, mommy. We can't. There's nowhere to put your granddaughter. My darling, go and pay Opia. Go and get a nanny. I am not accepting that child. I am accepting the child as my grandchild. I am going to give the gift as a grandmother to a grandchild. But I'm not going to help you to train that child because you are not ready to take up that responsibility. So why did you do it? And so what's the point of us having discussion all the time, telling you what to do and telling you that this is the next step of your life?
Right.
So when you are, and even when you met the girl, you didn't tell me that, oh, Mom, I met the girl that I like. So, and you don't say, oh, Mom, I'm only joking. You know I won't do that. I mean, with all the training you're giving me, if I do that, that means I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I say, thank you, son, for appreciating that. You and I knew we've had this discussion before. Because me and my kids, we always have family meeting every month.
We too. Yeah.
We sit down, what do we need to do, what do you want to do, what do you want to do, is there any challenge, anything is bothering you? Because it helps them, even if the children are grown, they still have their challenges. Even as old as we are, why do we call our parents back home in Nigeria? Mom, I'm going to this, go to pastor, go to this person, I need this, and our mom will pray for us to say, Sheba, do this, do that. No matter how old you are, you will always meet your parents. So for me, in the area of sex education, there is no certain age. Some people's children are genius.
Right.
Some kids from the age of 3, they've known things of a 10-year-old knew. Some kids, they're slow learner. They have dyslexia. They pick things very difficult. They pick things in a very long term. It might something that a 10-year-old child, it might have a brain of a 5-year-old. So it's only when their own milestones in development is different. So each and every one of us, we know the kind of children that we have. But whatever kids that God has given to us, they are special in their own way. They came with a different talent from God.
They are glorious.
And my own is whatever your child, anytime your child comes to you and ask, please, as a parent, let's be open and we communicate with them. Because I realize that we lack communication with our children. And that thing is causing so much problem. Something communication will just solve. We keep quiet. The other party will assume. This one will assume another thing. And everywhere is scattered. The same thing happens to the children too. So when they come to us with sex education questions, please, let's discuss with them. There's no big deal. They know it already. Do you think they don't know? They have an idea before coming to you. So trying to go through corners, for me, it doesn't make any difference. And mostly it's our religious family, religious people. It's always economical with the truth. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
And God will help us, all of us.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I have, because I used to think, certain ages, maybe back in those years, but now I know that you have to start discussing it. In fact, the best time to even tell them is when they are very little. Once they start anything from 2 years, they have started talking. Just let them know, nobody touch your PP, nobody touch your this, nobody touch your that, anybody touch, tell mommy. Anybody touch, scream for help, shout. Especially if it's in the school or in the crèche or in the daycare, scream, shout. Don't anybody do that. It's not supposed to be. Let them know that. So they will carry that knowledge on and know that that's why they are called private place. It is not for anyone to go trespass and be touching anyhow. So to me, I also agree with you, ma'am. I know that it is not for a certain age. You just have to start from the small. Let them know what is right and what is not right. That was it. I love that discussion, because this is what we all parents need to know, even guardian, or if you're planning to have your own children, you just have to know this. I want to say at this point, I want to say thank you. What do you think about this topic? When did you start teaching your children sex education? Do you think there is certain age because we don't know what you think? What do you think? What do you think? Do you feel like, no, I shouldn't talk to them when they are still young, or this is the way I love to talk to them? In the comment section, we'd love to hear from you too. So we'll see you in the next topic. We still have series of topics to talk about. So let's wait right there. The next thing you do immediately after this video, check the next one. Ciao, ciao.
We had a glorious generation family. Please join us today, and we bless you.